A diplomat clicked accept on airport Wi-Fi and handed spies a foothold in minutes. This story starts with a tiny familiar moment. You join hotel Wi-Fi and click accept. That redirect feels routine, but Google's threat analysis group found attackers intercepting exactly that moment to reroute diplomats to fake update pages. It looks ordinary, but the consequences were not. In the next minutes, we'll unpack each clever step the attackers used to turn routine trust into long-term access, starting with the initial interception. Google Tag labeled the actor cluster UNC6384 and tied the campaign to diplomats across Southeast Asia. Attackers stole a redirect, showed a fake update site, and pushed a signed downloader that loaded an in-memory remote access Trojan. The campaign mixed social engineering, valid TLS, and code signing to slip past defenses. This isn't a single exploit. It's a layered con built to look normal. And next, we dissect Stage 1 in plain terms. Stage 1, the captive portal hijack. When you join public Wi-Fi, the network redirects you to a splash page. Attackers manipulated that redirect, an adversary-in-the-middle move, and sent users to a malicious landing instead. Imagine a fork in the road where the sign suddenly points somewhere else. The traveler follows habit, not suspicion. That single reroute made everything that followed seem legitimate. But how did they make the fake page look real? Stage 2, a fake software update page with real HTTPS. The attackers used a legitimate certificate to show the lock icon. People equate that lock with safety, but it only means encryption. The malicious page mimicked an update prompt and suggested downloading an installer. The file name looked harmless and familiar. That combination of visual trust signals tricked cautious users. So why didn't the lock and familiar visuals stop the attack? The answer lies in the next layer. Stage 3, a digitally signed downloader. The executable arrived with a valid code signature. Code signing usually proves authenticity, but certificates can be stolen or abused. This binary came signed by an unexpected publisher, which made some defenses trust it automatically. The signed downloader acted as a courier and unpacked the real tool. That trust shortcut is central to the campaign's success. What damage did the delivered tool actually do once it ran? Stage 4, an in-memory plugx variant known as sogu.sec. Once running, the malware lived in RAM to avoid disk traces. It could steal files, log keystrokes, execute commands, and move laterally. Memory residence means conventional antivirus often misses it. The attackers aimed for persistent, quiet access to diplomatic machines. Detection becomes a chase rather than a stop. So what signals should defenders hunt for when the bad code never touches disk? Look for unusual captive portal redirects and unexpected installer downloads after network joins. Slag executables signed by unfamiliar publishers. Monitor for sudden outbound connections to new domains after a captive portal event. Watch for process injection, suspicious child processes, or DLL search order tricks. These are the behavioral footprints plugx variants leave, but hunting needs tools and policy. Next, we'll cover immediate steps organizations can take in days, not months. Quick wins you can deploy in 7 to 14 days. Force enterprise VPNs on untrusted SSIDs, blocking internet until the VPN connects. Disable in-app update prompts and root updates through managed repositories. Turn on application allow listing to block unexpected binaries. Harden travel browser profiles and train staff with short, realistic briefings that show fake update prompts. These steps reduce immediate exposure. They work fast, but they don't solve the systemic trust problems. And next, we'll discuss medium-term defenses. Medium-term moves for 30 to 90 days. Adopt certificate reputation checks to flag odd publishers. Deploy protective DNS to block known malicious domains. Enforce DNS over HTTPS or TLS to limit tampering. And roll out phishing-resistant MFA like FIDO2. Also instrument captive portal logs and integrate them with your SIEM. These measures raise the bar and give your SOC better clues, but strategic architecture changes take longer, which we'll cover next with quarter-plus investments. Strategic moves over a quarter and beyond. Shift to zero-trust network access and treat every network as hostile. Use EAP TLS for enterprise Wi-Fi to bind device certificates to identity. Issue clean, hardened laptops for high-risk travel and require reimage or forensic review on return. Deploy secure web gateways or cloud browser isolation to render risky pages away from endpoints. These are investments in resilience. Before we pause for a quick recap, remember, each layer closes a different gap. Quick mid-video recap. Attackers hijacked captive portals, used valid TLS and a signed downloader, then ran an in-memory plugx RAT to collect data. Defenders should combine quick wins, medium controls, and strategic shifts. We've covered hunting signals, SOC steps, and architecture changes. In the second half, we'll explore attribution, practical travel habits, incident response, and policy fixes you can push for. Stick with me. The next examples make this all feel real and actionable. Who is UNC6384? Researchers used that label for this activity cluster and tied it to China-aligned espionage. Analysts saw overlaps with Mustang Panda tooling and targeting patterns. That linkage matters because it signals intent. Long-term intelligence collection against governments and NGOs. Attribution helps defenders prioritize watches and information sharing. But attribution rarely changes the technical fix. So what makes diplomats ideal targets in the first place? Diplomats travel constantly and carry sensitive negotiation documents. Their devices connect to many networks, increasing exposure. A single compromised laptop can reveal draft positions or contact lists. Imagine a suitcase that contains not only clothes, but the keys to whole negotiations. That makes diplomatic endpoints high value. So what practical habits reduce risk for individuals who must work on the road? For individuals, prefer your phone hotspot over public Wi-Fi when handling sensitive work. If you must use public Wi-Fi, connect to VPN immediately and avoid installing software. Never accept update prompts from captive portals. Use the vendor's app store or official site. Use a non-admin account for daily tasks and enable tamper protection. These habits are small and fast, but they stop the most common lure. Next, we'll shift back to what SOCs should log and alert on. SOC recommendations: deploy memory scanning and behavioral EDR rules that detect process injection and sideloading. Alert on signed binaries from unexpected publishers and correlate those alerts with recent captive portal events. Log DNS queries and TLS handshakes during onboarding and create alerts for deviations. Share suspicious certificates and domains with industry partners and ISACs. These signals reduce dwell time. But let me show a short example of how a real incident might play out. Scenario example. A diplomat connects to hotel Wi-Fi and accepts the portal. A downloader then runs, signed by an odd publisher. EDR flags a parent process spawning a suspicious child and abnormal outbound DNS resolutions. The SOC captures memory, isolates the endpoint, and blocks the publisher certificate and communicating domains. Rapid containment keeps data loss low. This change shows why logging and speed matter. Next, we'll cover forensic steps and how to share findings. Forensics and response. Capture volatile memory and network logs before rebooting. Collect signed binary samples and any installer pack artifacts. Re-image high-value devices and lift IOCs into blocking lists. Notify partners and submit indicators to national certs and ISACs. Timely sharing prevents other victims. Remember, containment is manual work and technical controls often follow. But what about the bigger policy fixes that can reduce these risks long-term? Policy and systemic fixes matter. Push for captive portal integrity standards, stronger transparency from certificate authorities, and safer update distribution models. Encourage industry adoption of code signing reputation services and clearer revocation pathways. Governments can require better logging from venue Wi-Fi providers. These are bigger projects, but they change the threat landscape. There's also a surprising fact. Coordinated remediation efforts have already cleaned thousands of systems linked to plugx actors, showing collective action works. So what should leaders prioritize now? For CISOs and leaders, assume travel is hostile by default. Design controls that don't rely on trust signals alone. Fund clean laptop programs for high-risk travel. Invest in detection that watches memory and behavior, not just files. Build partnerships to share indicators quickly. And establish clear playbooks for device return and re-imaging. These moves reduce risk across the organization. There's one mindset shift that ties everything together, and it changes how you build defenses. The key mindset: assume every trust handoff can be subverted. Treat networks, certificates, update channels, and browser prompts as potential attack surfaces. Design controls that verify at each step, not rely on single signals. That approach forces layered defenses and faster detection. Start with the quick wins today and plan strategic changes for the quarter and beyond. If you act now, you make that airport click far less dangerous, and there's more practical material in our follow-up resources. If this helped you, hit like and subscribe for practical threat briefings. Comment with one travel security step you'll adopt, and we'll feature top replies in the next video.